Yo, we got a huge problem in America. Let me tell y'all flat out. I'm gonna get straight out to it. The huge problem we have is that most millennials, and I know some people they might not want to hear this, but most millennials and most Gen Zers will never be able to own a home. And I know people may hear this when I'm saying, and they may say this sounds pessimistic or where I come from with this, but trust me, I've done a lot of research on this topic, and that's the conclusion I come to. But I also there's two things I wanted to touch on in this video. Is that the first one was that most millennials will never be able to own a home, and you need to do whatever you can do so you can become a homeowner. And I'm gonna let y'all know why. And the second thing I'm gonna touch on this video is that there will not be a housing crash. And I know many people. That's something that many people are waiting on. I know me personally at one point, I was waiting on a housing crash before I bought. I remember in 2019, even in 2018, I was telling everybody like, man, I'm not buying no house. I'm waiting on this market to crash. Stuff is too high. It's 2024. The market still hasn't crashed. And I'm here and I've done a ton of research on this, and I'm gonna give y'all three reasons on why the market is not going to crash. And I'm going to talk about, like I said, why most millennials and Gen Zers will never be able to own a home. Now, before I start this video, I want to ask everybody to please like this video, subscribe, whether you watching it on YouTube or you listen on Apple Music or Spotify, hit that 5-star rating, leave us a great review. All those things, we read all of it. We would greatly appreciate it. Mind you, I'm in a new crib, so I had to order a new mic, and they sent it to my wrong house. So please forgive me if the audio not at its peak yet. I'm just waiting on my new mic to come. So let's get right into the video, man. And for context, I want to give y'all some backstory on how this video even came about and what made me look into all this stuff, what made me come to these conclusions and all that. So about this September, so this was like in June. Yeah, so about 3-4 months ago, I was in Nashville, Tennessee. My father invited me to Nashville for a conference. So I went out there, and this was my first time in Nashville. I didn't know how dope of a city it was. It was extremely dope, and they got beautiful properties there. And I'm into real estate. So after we went to the conference, we looking at real estate and whatnot. And I'm like, man, these some fire homes. So I'm the type of person, when I see a dope home, anything that I like or kind of like, I always look it up on Zillow. I look up the square footage, the how many the square footage of the whole lot, square footage of the property, how much it costs, how many bedrooms it is. That's just how I am. I'm interested in real estate, so I like to do that. So I was looking at these homes. They were all like between 1.2 to 1.3 million. And mind you, these homes were about 4,000 or 3,500, between 3,500 to 4,000 square feet. So when I see this, I'm like, if these homes are 1.2 million, I wonder what a smaller home would be. So I looked up, I was driving down the street and I saw a home. It was a regular home. It was 2,000 square feet. It had two bathrooms, two bedrooms, and the house was $570,000, right? And that's not what had me tripping or had me like mind blown really. What blew my mind was I saw the house was 570, and I wanted to look up the price history of this house. And when I looked it up, the house, this same house, sold for $70,000 in 2017. So think about what I just said. A house that sold for 70 grand in 2017 is sold for 570 in 2024. That's insane. That's a set in a 7 year. It went up 500,000 in 7 years. Now, mind you, when I see this, I'm like, this can't be the norm. This got to be some kind of anomaly, right? That's what you would think. I think any logical person would think, no, maybe this was just a messed up house that they fixed up. Nah. So I looked up all homes within that block, within like a 1 to 2 mile radius, and they all had similar things. They was like 100,000 7 years ago, and now they're selling for 400, 500,000. And when I see that, I'm like, yo, this is like a nation. This has to be like, maybe this is not just like a local Nashville thing, because even when I was buying my home in Dallas, I seen homes. I remember we went to go see a house. This was in Heath, Texas. If anybody know familiar with Heath, y'all know where that's at. I would see a beautiful house. It was 5 bedrooms. It was $850,000. I was talking to the realtor. I said, yo, just out of curiosity, how much did this home cost in 2020? Or maybe I said 2019 before the pandemic. Either one, I asked him, I said, how much did it cost? He looked me dead in the eye. He said, "You don't want to know. This is gonna mess up your whole day." And I said, "No, bro, it's all good. Just tell me. Let me know." He said, "This same house was $470,000 right before the pandemic. So it went up almost $400,000 in a matter of 4 years. So that just goes to show that these property values are insane. So now when I see these things, I think my mind immediately goes to, like, me personally. I know I'm blessed enough and God and thankful enough. I can't thank God enough to be in a position where I can buy a home. But I just don't look at things from what I can personally do or my own anecdotal experiences. I think about other people. I know other people may not be as in a privileged position that I'm in. So I start to think, how can or how will the average millennial or Gen Z ever be able to own a home? So I started doing my research, and I'm going to share my screen. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you obviously can see it. But if you listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever the case may be, you can just listen up because I'm gonna share. I'm gonna cite everything I mentioned. I'm going to cite it today. So you're gonna be able to look up these things. I'm gonna mention what site I'm on, all that good stuff. So the first thing that I wanted to cite, and this was the average price of a home. So this one made me, when I saw this, I went to go look up. I'm like, okay, so it's 2024. What is the average price of a home today? Now, mind you, in April of 2020, the average price of a home was it was $240,000, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all can look this up. That's just 4 years ago. The average price of a home was 240,000. Today in 2024, that now this is according to rockethomes.com. The average price of a home, it says, based on the latest data, the average home price in the US stands at $416,000. $416,000. And some people may say, well, that don't sound too bad, or that's that they may think the average person can handle that, right? Now we got to look up, how much does the average, what is the average millennial salary? If the average home price is $416,000, how much does the average millennial make? And now this is according to Tokenist. It says the average millennial salary is about $47,000. Now the average millennial household makes $69,000 a year, and this is according to the Pew Research Center. So just think about these two numbers I'm mentioning, right? The average home price is 416,000. The average millennial makes $47,000, right? And that alone, that those two numbers alone lets you know that, oh, that's problematic. That's because there's no way somebody who makes $47,000 a year can afford a house that's over $400,000. That's just ridiculous, right? So, but there's more. We got to do more. We got to do more research. So the average home 416, the average person making 47,000. Now we have to look at a down payment, because obviously when you purchase a home, you have to put up a down payment, unless you're a veteran like me. I served in the military, so I got the VA loan. When I chose to buy my property, when I bought my home, I didn't have to put any money down. All I had to pay was escrow and closing costs, but the down payment, I don't have to pay it. And that's the reason why I advise a lot of people to think about joining the military. I might make a video on that later. I actually just finished a roadmap, a financial roadmap for people that's in the military and leaving, on how they could leverage the military to build financial freedom. It's an ebook I wrote. It's about 50 some pages. It's gonna be hella cheap. It's only gonna be like $25, $26. So I'm about to drop that really soon. So if you're interested in that, stay on the lookout. But getting back to it, so down payment wise, right? This is according to bankrate.com, and this is covering mortgages. It says the median down payment on the home in the US in Q1 of 2024 was $26,700, about 8% of the median home purchase price at the moment. Now, these are three completely different numbers I didn't gave y'all and I didn't mention, right? I talked about the home price. Excuse me. I talked about the home price. I talked about the salary, and I mentioned the down payment. So, I didn't even get y'all a chance to read it if y'all watching, so y'all can see it now. This is, like I said, this is from bankrate.com. It says 26,000. So $400,000 house, you make $47,000 a year, but you got to pay 26,000 for the down payment. Now the thing is, right? Down payment is not the only it is not the only thing you got to come out of pocket for when you're purchasing a home. You still got to put your money in escrow. You still have to pay closing costs. You still have to pay for inspections. So let's say that's 26,000, right? With the escrow, inspections and closing costs, let's say that'll be another 10, right? So let's say you have to, the average person will have to come around a yearly salary to close on a home. Now, does that sound doable? Does that sound doable to the average person? Just being real with yourself. I'm not making this video to sound pessimistic or to not to come across like this is like down talk anything. This is really, to be real, I'm really trying to put an emphasis on why people need to hurry up and get their stuff together, because these prices are not going to drop. The things are going to keep continue to go up and go up. And if you don't put yourself in the positions to do this, you're going to miss out on an opportunity to ever build wealth, because as we know, most wealth is built from real estate. It's if it's not going to be life insurance, it's going to be real estate, the passing down the assets, or you own your home and you owned it for 10, 20 years, and now the property is worth way more than you ever paid for it. Now you're in a good position where you have all this equity and you have money and stuff like that. But if you don't ever have the opportunity to own a home, how could you or anyone else like ever do that? So, but back to what I was back to more stats though, because we could talk about the down payment, we could talk about the yearly salary, we could talk about the price of the home, but we have to talk about more things, and that is savings. Because obviously, to do all these things, you need a savings. You need to have a stack savings account. But we got to look up, how much does the average millennial have in savings? Is it? And this is according to the banking journal. I'm trying to pull it up. I don't know where it just went. It just disappeared on me. Hold on one second. That's my bad. Okay, here we go right here. So it says more than more than one in four Americans have savings below $1,000. More than 25% of Americans got less than $1,000 in savings. And it says, with many blaming rising living costs as the reason they are not saving more. According to a new survey by the Forbes Advisor, the survey found that 32% of Gen Z respondents had less than $1,000 in savings, followed by millennials at 31%, Gen X at 27%, and baby boomers at 20%. More than half of Gen Z and Gen X had less than $5,000 in savings, compared to roughly 41% of millennials and 29% of baby boomers. Think about these numbers, y'all. Like I said, this is not to sound pessimistic or to fearmonger. I don't want anyone to think this is a unattainable thing to accomplish. Like I said, the prime reason I'm making this video is to put a fire under people's asses so they can realize like what's going on, what's at stake, what's happening in the world. Because so many people really don't pay attention to these things, but you have to pay attention to these things. All these numbers are crucial important. If the average person doesn't have $5 grand in their bank account or anywhere close to it, they make 40 something $1,000 annually. The average home price is over $400,000. They're gonna need about $40,000 for a down payment. What conclusion could you come to? Just think about it for a second. The only conclusion any logical human being would think is there's no way possible for the average millennial to ever become a homeowner. You're going to have to be extremely disciplined. You have to have foresight, vision. You're going to have the great work ethic. You can't be lazy. This is not an era. This is not a generation where anyone can afford to be lazy. That being in the past 20 years ago, 10 years ago, this ain't the days where you could work at a factory, go home, go out to a bar, drink all day, not do nothing, but your bills could still be taken care of. No, we in different times. If y'all see these, if y'all seen these numbers, y'all hearing everything I'm reading, the cost of living is insane. So you have to get it. There's no other option. You got to get it. But most importantly, you have to try to become a homeowner. I can't, and I'm not telling like I said, because I know some people they're like, oh, renting, like there's nothing wrong with renting, and there's nothing wrong with renting at all. Don't get it twisted, because I know some people, they think like, oh, why would I become a renter? I'll never own a property. Look, man, it's nothing better than equity. There's nothing wrong with renting, but the long-term goal should always be ownership. You can't pass down what you're renting. You can't give that to your son or daughter or whatever family member you got. But when you own something, you could do whatever you want with it, as well as the equity you got. So for those that hear this and they think like, man, because I get DMs all the time. People like, man, do I really want to own a home? Even me, I thought that at one point. But I'm telling you, man, it's crucial. You have to do it. And we're gonna get into more reasons. I'm gonna talk about why a crash, in my opinion, is not going to happen as well. But so we could, matter of fact, we could get straight into that right now, just for people. And I'm gonna give y'all, like I said, I'm gonna give y'all 3 reasons why, in my opinion, there's not going to be a housing shortage. And I'm gonna get into that right now. Let me pull up my stats, because I don't want to just, when I made this video, I told myself I don't want to just be saying stuff that's not, like, people can't fact check. Even look, I got military background, so whatever I say and whatever others say to me, I always trust, but I'm a verify. And I want y'all to do the same thing. Whatever I say, feel free to look it up. Don't never just go off what you hear somebody saying. Always verify exactly what they're saying. So the 3 reasons why there won't be a housing shortage, in my opinion, I'm gonna tell y'all. The first one is, as y'all can see, this is Zillow. According to Zillow.com, the U.S. is now short 4.5 million homes as the housing deficit grows. So that's the number one thing. There's a housing shortage in America, and I think a lot of people may not be aware of it, but this is what's going on. And now you got to ask yourself, how can there be a crash if the demand is much more greater than the supply? You can't, a crash can't happen if the supply doesn't meet the demand. It's just a supply and demand thing. But let's read further. So, like I said, this is Zillow.com. It says from 2021 to 2022, the housing shortage grew to 4.5 million homes, up from 4.3 million. In 2022, the number of U.S. families increased by 1.8 million, while only 1.4 million housing units were built. Those who live in the markets with strict land use regulations are less likely to be able to afford the mortgage payment on the typical home. And it also said, despite a pandemic construction boom, the U.S. housing shortage grew to 4.5 million homes in 2022, up from 4.3 million the year before, according to a new analyst from Zillow. This deepening house deficit is the root cause of house affordability crisis. So that's one thing off top. The demand does not meet the supply. So that's why the number one thing why there won't be a housing shortage. The second, the second reason why there won't be a housing shortage, and this definitely may be a touching subject or shocking to some people. And this is not me, and I'm not saying this in a disparaging way. I'm just giving out the facts, and that is the immigration. This is America. We have immigrants coming here every single day, whether that's legally or illegally. And the late statistic by the SON shows that there's around 6,200 illegal immigrants coming into America per day. Not even legal, illegal immigrants coming to the country a day. But this is about a CIS.org on the legal immigration. It says, in our prior analysis, we estimated that 58% of the increase in the total foreign-born population since President Biden took office was due to illegal immigration. There is nothing in the most recent data to change that perspective. If correct, then since January 2021, the illegal immigration population has increased by 3.8 million. Further, of the 51.6 million immigrants living in the country in March of 2024. Some 13.8 million are illegal immigrants. If adjusted for undercount, the total illegal immigration population will be over 14 million in March 2024. So obviously, right, immigrants, they come into the country, they need homes as well. Think about it. It's already a housing shortage. We have this crazy influx of immigrants coming to the country, and many people predict by 2030, there probably will be another 10 to 20 million illegal more illegal immigrants coming into the country, especially depending on who wins this election, because one candidate is more pro up opening the border than the other. And in my opinion, this is just my opinion, y'all. If Kamala wins, there will be a low, easily you could count 10 more million immigrants coming, in my opinion. So that's going to affect housing as well over time, because like I said, they need housing too. And now they are having the ideas and a proposal of giving immigrants incentives to become homeowners. They're literally giving 25,000 incentives, $30,000 incentives in some cities for these immigrants to become homeowners. So what does that do to the housing economy? That just drive prices up. So if you're an outsider watching this, right, these prices are just going to keep going up. So you may be sitting watching and waiting. You say, "Yo, I'm gonna wait on the economy to crash," without understanding all these things that's happening around you and showing like why the market is going to continue to rise. So that's the second reason why we're not going to have a housing crash, in my opinion. And the third reason, and this is one of the most important ones, and this is one that I feel like definitely many people are not aware of, and that's that hedge funds are buying up a huge amount of single family homes. And this is an article I'm reading right here. This is according to the Sling, and it says, are hedge funds and private equity firms driving up the prices of homes? And they got a stat. It showed that it said in the first 3 months of 2024, private investors bought 14.8% of homes sold, according to Realtor.com. In some cities, such as Springfield, Kansas, and St. Louis, Missouri, investors purchased around 1 in 5 homes. So that's 20% of homes that they purchased in specific cities. So investor-owned homes hit their peak in December 2022, accounting for 28.7% of all homes sold in America. Per MetLife Investment Management, institutional investors may control 40% of U.S. single-family rental homes by 2030. That is insane. Yo, by 2030, they may control 40% of the single-family home rental market. This is why you need to own a home. In short of this video, this is why, because these institutional investors, they figured out that they can make even it's greed, of course, but they figured out they can make even more money by just controlling the housing market and renting to everybody and making everybody renters. And my idea, not to sound like a conspiracy theorist or nothing, I think this is why they promote renting so much. Because if you think about it, all the people that will promote you rent the most are the people that own the homes. They'll say, "Hey, you need to rent a home. Owning a home is a burden." They'll tell you owning a home is a burden while they go out here and buy every home there is. So I'm telling y'all to don't buy into the hype, man. Don't buy into these people telling you, "Oh no, you don't need to own a home." You like, no, you need to own a home, man. They tricking everybody out the game. They tricking people out their spot, because this market, it ain't going nowhere. It ain't gonna crash. The country as we knew it is changing. The world as we knew it is changing. Like I said, there's millions of immigrants, legal or illegal, that will be continue. That's one thing that's not gonna stop. Just being real with y'all, the institutional investors is buying all of the homes, and they're not going to stop. I'm gonna tell y'all a story. I was talking with a very successful realtor in the area that I live in, and she told me that one of the towns that's right next to us, she said at one point, 85% of the people that she was selling the homes to in this area were investors from China. She said these investors have never been to America. They had no interest in coming to America. They're literally buying while they're over there, and they're renting it out. They was trying to put laws in place to stop that from happening, because obviously that's a crazy thing. If there's no, most countries won't even allow us to do that as Americans. They're not going to allow us to, go over to the country, buy all their properties and rent it out to their citizens. So it was wild that we were allowing others to do it here. So they was trying to do things to stop it. But that just goes to show that these homes are going to continue to be brought. And if you don't become an investor, if you don't adopt the investor's mindset, you're gonna be left behind. How can you ever accumulate wealth earning 40 something $1,000 a year where the prices of everything is continued to skyrocket? And it also it was another topic that I didn't even bring up that I meant to address, and that is the going back to the first thing where I was saying how the most millennials will never become homeowners. One spot that I forgot is that how being single is costing people money. And I'm not, don't get me, I don't want nobody to hear this and be thinking like, man, why you trying to tell everybody or force everybody to get in relationships? No, do whatever you want. But I am telling you, there is much more benefits from getting in a relationship with somebody, being married financially than it is being single. I'm just keeping it real. Even I'm a screen share this too, just so y'all can see it, or y'all already see it. It says, I'm giving y'all the relationship status of millennials. It says it varies depending on age, with younger millennials being more likely to be single than older millennials. But it says in 2019, 56% of millennials were single, with nearly 80% of those having no children. And it says in 2019, 44% were married, which is lower than the percentage of Gen Xers, boomers, and silents at a similar age. So think about this, y'all. This is why if you look at how much the average married household make compared to the average single person, it's damn near basically like double, just because obviously two incomes is better than one. But if most of the country is single, most of the country is making, or well, not even gonna say country, millennials. Most millennials are single. Most millennials are making 40 some thousand. And I already gave y'all the numbers on how much a house costs, how much the down payment gonna be, how much savings y'all got. People got on to say y'all. So y'all should be able to tell that, oh damn, this is a serious situation. How can anyone ever climb out of the financial hole to build financial wealth? It's just a thing that'll be incapable of happening. Just being real with y'all, and I'm not even gonna make this video too long because this one of those videos that's short, sweet, and simple. I could give out the statistics, I can give out the stats, and I literally could just get straight to it. And I just want to put this on y'all minds because, like I told y'all from the last episode, there's so many important things that we want to touch on moving forward, and this is one of them. We've always emphasized home ownership, becoming an owner, but I think in 2024, this topic is more important than ever because, like I said, we know that this is a fact that most wealth, generally speaking, is going to be built with some form of real estate. Now, I'm not telling you if you're watching this video, so you need to buy a house to live in ASAP. I don't care if you buy something to live. I don't care if you being an investor and you renting it out. Whatever you do, but try to become a homeowner. I don't, if you got to work overtime, if you got to work 70 hours a week, if you got to work 7 days for a week, of what, man, when I was in the military, it was a period when I was deployed for about 7, 8 months. I worked 6 days a week, between 12, 14 hours a day. Sometimes it was 7 days a week because in moments of grinding, just y'all, if y'all tapped into this podcast for a way, y'all know me, y'all know my conversations, what I talk about. But when you on that grind mode, nothing else matters, man. When you serious about building wealth, when you serious about getting out of the hole, you serious about getting your family out of the hole, you serious about taking care of your kids, putting them in positions where they don't got to come up how we came up. You're gonna do whatever it takes. It don't matter how long it takes. You're gonna do it. Obviously, when I say whatever, I ain't talking about no BS. I ain't talking about no Diddy weird stuff. I'm talking about whatever it takes as far as grinding, you working, you putting your head down, and you ain't picking your head up until you done grinding. You're gonna do whatever it takes, man. And I don't want the reason this video is so important because somebody has to say it. And I feel like there's so many people that's not thinking about these things. They're not thinking about, like, people may think about, oh man, the housing market is just so much more, but they might be thinking, oh, it's gotta come down eventually, right? That's what everybody thinks. Always at this point, it gotta come down eventually. It can't stay this up forever. No, there are so many variables that you have to think about on why it's not going to come down. Why is it going to, at the bare minimum, it's going to stay stagnant. That's the bare minimum. But most likely, it's just going to continue to go up and up and up. I'm making this video in 2024. Average price of a home, 400 some thousand. 2028, the average price of a home probably gonna be like 600 something thousand at the rate that we're going. If we don't get the proper leadership that correct this thing at the rate that we're going, this thing is going to skyrocket, y'all. And I don't want anybody. I could easily be a selfish person. I could say, man, I own my home now. Business is booming. My family get good. I don't care about nobody else. That if they fall, that's on them. I don't care. But I've never been that type of person. I like to see other like-minded people come up just how I came up, do shit, do even bigger than me, do better than me, by crazy stuff. That's just how I am. I like to see people win. I've never been the type to see people lose. So when I do the research and find out this information, it's like it's only right that I make content around this. It's only right that I made a video about this just so the listeners can know, like, oh snap. Because I talked about this on TikTok before, and I couldn't tell y'all how many DMs I got from people, and they was like, man, thank you for putting this into perspective, because I never, when you lay it out like that, like I could see what's happening now. And I could see, and I could strategize better for moving forward. So that's the whole purpose of this video. And just to go over it one more time, just for to put it all together in the summary wise, like I talked about why most millennials will never be able to own a home and what they need to do to own a home. But why the reasons they won't be able to own is because the average house is $4,000 in America. The average salary is $47,000 in America. The average down payment is $26,000. That's without inspections. That's without closing costs. That's without escrow. So it really will be around 40 grand. And then the average savings that a millennial have is less than $5,000. So, and under those conditions, and they single. So under those conditions, just being real, they'll never be able to own. And the reason I say there won't be a housing shortage is because institutional investors are buying everything up. We have millions and millions of immigrants um, coming into the country. And what was I can't even remember the what was the third one? It was immigrants. It's just a housing shortage. And the third one is there's a housing shortage. The demand doesn't meet the supply. So when you put all those things up, y'all, I hope this video can help somebody. I hope this video can help somebody lock in. We got a lot more content coming. I got a video. I got a podcast episode that we dropping this week. This is gonna be very, very informative. We're gonna talk about a lot of stuff, how people can get their money, get some money for their businesses, how they can raise their credit score. And like I told y'all last podcast and last video, we got a lot of content coming. I hope this video could to help somebody, somebody put things into perspective. Comment, like, do all those things like I asked in the video. We greatly appreciate it. And that's all I got for y'all. Y'all can find me on all platforms. I'm at Xavier C. Miller. You can follow Millionaire Mindsets podcast. That's everywhere, every social platform there is. And that's all I got for y'all. See you guys soon. Love y'all. Peace.